the Dream 100 Show. The epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tesner.
What is the number one way to cost yourself sales? What's the number one way? Now, the answer might surprise you a bit, and as we talk throughout today's episode of the Dream 100 Show, I wanted to share some first-hand context on a variety of things that have happened in my experience with all different types of businesses, vendors, contractors, e-commerce websites over the last, let's call it 2 months. Now, you might be thinking, and I'll use a few examples for you. So you might be thinking that the number one way to lose potential business could be when a contractor, we'll start with contractors, comes out, gives you an estimate, and you don't kind of bond with them, you don't trust them, like that sales process. You could come to the e-commerce website and you might think that, well, there's not enough trust or it's price, like it's something there, and that's the number one thing. You might think that the number one thing that's costing you sales is, again, the money, the price. Well, this person over here is $100 and you're $120. It's actually not any of those. All those things factor into the buying journey, the buying process. But what's actually happening is everything that occurs before the sale. And I'm going to give you just a whole slew of examples so that you can start to put two and two together and apply it directly to your business. I'll even give you one just from yesterday afternoon. That's small, but we'll talk you through it. There was a new candy store. I love candy, so do my kids, that opened up. Website says they're open. Facebook says they're open. Alexa says they're open. They drive there and they're closed. Closed. All of that stuff during the buyer's journey now completely ruined the process. We're looking at putting an addition onto our patio. I went to this home show, hundreds and hundreds of vendors. I talked to probably 30. I probably gave my information to 10. One of them followed up. The other 9 have yet to follow up. A couple have called. They didn't leave voicemails, didn't email me, didn't send a text message, didn't try more than once. A couple of them I went and visited their websites, which didn't work on mobile. One of them I went down the rabbit hole and started looking at their reviews, a window company. All of that stuff that leads up to your sales presentation, adding something to cart, you giving the quote, all of those different paths in the buying journey matter more than the actual quote. Now, granted, if I'm pre-framed that I think something is $30,000 and their quote is $200,000, yes, that's going to play into the decision. But when I pause, and you know that people are going to do research, they're going to read your reviews, they're going to look at your website, they're going to find your social media, they're going to read about your business on Reddit, they're going to go to ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok and ask some questions. Maybe they're going to ask your neighbors. It's not just the reviews. It's every single thing leading up to that signing the check or signing the contract. People are inherently doing lots and lots of research, and if anything strikes them as off, they pause. Anything at all. Reviews are obviously a big one, but if you know that people are going to go to your website, they're going to check you out, and you don't even have a website. How could I take a construction company that I'm potentially going to give $50,000 to seriously that doesn't even have a website? Well, yeah, they're going to show me all these pictures. Pictures can be faked. Any contractor, even landscapers. I want to go and look and check them out to see, are they a legit company? Because unfortunately, there are ridiculous amounts of scams, bad vendors, contractors, and I'm not even just referring to, I've talked a lot about contractors because that's so top of mind. It could be for service offerings. I had an absolutely terrible experience with a CPA firm. And what was interesting is that I took a recommendation and then I went down that path and I skipped some of my normal due diligence because you typically are going to trust a recommendation. And then you find out, well, they're reading over their website is a bunch of ChatGPT content. There really weren't any case studies or anything like that. Like all the things that I should have found that would have had me pause or stop in that buying journey, I skipped. But your potential customers are not skipping steps. So what do you need to do? Like, how do you solve this? Where do you start? The easiest way to start is you do a bit of a marketing 360-degree audit. And I've talked a lot about these. But what I'm looking for you to do is you have to see all the different places that you have content, all the different potential journey paths that a buyer might go down. Are they going to go to the BBB, for example, or the Better Business Bureau? Your website, your LinkedIn page, your Facebook. If you have a physical outlet, are they going to drive by your signage? All of those different things you need to write on a sheet of paper and then start to prioritize which one is way off kilter. I mean, I made a huge rookie mistake on my LinkedIn. I was looking at my LinkedIn yesterday, and there's 2 or 3 other entities that I have that I don't even have listed. Completely not even on there. Complete rookie mistake. So if somebody that fits into one of those is going to go and check out my LinkedIn account, well, geez, I thought he owned this particular company. Theme Park Marketing is the name of the company. Didn't even have it on there. So even a marketer that's teaching it, I make mistakes myself as well. But every couple of months, I like to do this marketing 360 audit. And what I'm looking for you to identify is what is the most forward-facing thing that someone is going to find that you think is just not in a good spot. And the chances are pretty high it's your website. Your content's from 5 years ago. The pictures are crappy. It's not working good on different devices. Great, then start there. Is it your Facebook page that you literally haven't made a post in 4 years? There's a mini golf course that we work with. They've got a bunch of locations. Their Facebook account, if you were to look at it, to me, it would make it look like they've been out of business for 5 or 6 years. When I asked them about it, they're like, well, we just don't do marketing. That one little thing there, I promise you, is costing you customers. Somebody thinks of going to your location, they go on Facebook, they want to read a couple of positive things. Well, geez, you haven't posted in 4 years. You make the assumption that they're probably out of business. And then you move on to another one. How many people actually then are doing that, or finding the Facebook page and then saying, I'm not going to go there? Is it a couple a week, 1 a day? Is it 20 a day? You have no idea until you start to fix these things. The leakiest of buckets that I have found is how you're answering the phone, how your team is answering the phone, and how you're responding and interacting with prospects. That one is almost always the leakiest of buckets. Like, it's insane the way that some of you are managing the phone. It's insane how some of your team are answering the phone. If you're nervous about calling your business right now, you've got an issue, and that would be the first one that I tackle. Now, how do you find, again, like what people might be looking for? You put yourself in your prospect shoes and you try and search for your business, your type of business. Whether you're selling candles online, great. If they find your candles, how do they find you? Great, they found you through an ad. Go to your website, you're going through and checking your site. If you've got a promo code on checkout, know that they're going to pause and then go to Google and try and find a promo code. Did you know that your business could own that particular search phrase? And you could say, here are all the available ones, so they go to your website versus whatever, Retail Me Not, or all these different promo code sites that are mainly a scam. Not all of them, but most of them. Do you have the reviews? Like, look at your stuff as a potential customer. Get a landscaping business. I love to talk about landscaping. You're looking for landscaping, go to Google. Great, you're going to call in your phone number. How are you answering the phone? You got a bunch of voicemails. You have a bunch of quotes that you haven't responded to. The flyers that you're putting in the neighborhoods, are those helping or hurting your reputation? It's all of these different touch points. But the one that I want you to laser in on, because this can be overwhelming. Well, Michael, we need to fix our website, our Facebook page, our reviews, all these different things you want me to fix. I do, yes. But I want you to laser in on the phone, because when someone calls in today's economy, most people do not want to pick up the phone. They want to email, they want to text. I'm text and email. Like, I'm looking for a vehicle right now and they're all calling me. And even when I write in the text message, do not call me. I want to do business via email and text, walk in and buy it. I have no intention of talking on the phone. And then they still call because that's their process. It's a whole different conversation. But if somebody calls in, I want you to put together an amazing script that whoever ends up answering the phone can walk through certain things. They can get all the core details. Thank you for calling ABC Landscaping. Hope you're having an amazing week so far. The sun's out. Would you mind if I just asked you a couple of questions? And then I'm happy to tackle all the questions that you have. Great, yes, please. So you said this is Michael. Can I write down just some of your contact details so I have it? So I want to make sure that I put some stuff in the mail to you and we can put a couple of neat things for you that I think you'll like. So let me grab your email, your cell phone, your address. Okay, great, you've got all that. So what prompted you to call in today? And then you stop talking and you let them talk and talk and talk. But these phone scripts you can give out to your team so that they know and they're checking the boxes. You're going to get the contact details. You're going to ask how you heard about us. My favorite question, how did you hear about us? Google, billboard, drive-through, referrals. That can move your conversation around. But if they're not working off of a script, what ends up happening, and I could call 20 landscapers this afternoon, and I can guarantee you that the calls are going to be widely different. They're going to be all over the darn place. They're just going to try and push me to do a quote. They're not going to ask what my needs are, what prompted me to call, or how I heard about, how did you hear about us? Very few, if any, will ask that. Hey, how can I help you? So I'm thinking of getting some hardscaping done. Great, I'll be in your area. You're in Amherst or Buffalo. I'll be in there next week. Can I swing by at 10? That'll be it. Like that. That'll be the conversation. That'll be the conversation because that's what they always have done. You try and get out there for a quote. So what I'm looking for you to do today is to look at what type of scripts you have for the phone and start to tweak those, improve them, leverage AI to help you dial in those scripts. If no one ever calls in, use AI to dial in better email responses, better text messages. Once you have that done, laminate it, make sure everyone has it on the team, and then move back over to that marketing 360 and make your list. Because all those little steps, some bigger than others, that lead up to the sale, if any of those are out of sorts, that is actually the number one thing that's going to cost you business. Something that catches them off guard, that makes them stop in their tracks. It's not your sales presentation. It normally isn't price. It's something that happens before you even get that opportunity. It's Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.